Hey guys, whoa! It's Cameron here with Emerson Property Management. Every week I bring you tools, tactics, strategies, lessons I've learned, things that have helped me build up a sizable rental portfolio in about 2 years and now manage that portfolio. What's that chair doing over there? Oh God, you never know. If you guys aren't subscribers, I think like 80 or 90% of y'all aren't subscribers. Please subscribe. It helps us out, helps share the channel, get us recognition, and get us out to more investors. So this week, I am taking a question from Lady Boss on YouTube. She's a subscriber. She had a question about the difference between subject to and a wraparound mortgage. So if you guys have seen the other video, I've done a couple videos on wraparound mortgages, sub-twos, and all that. So check those out, and then I'm going to try to answer and clarify a couple points here. Thanks, Cameron. I will watch it, referencing one of those other videos I just mentioned that you'll find up here somewhere. I will watch it because I'm now a little confused about the difference between a sub-2 and a wraparound mortgage. I'm learning about this as well. I'm trying to figure out how the investor makes a profit if he or she takes over the payment. If I buy a property sub to the original terms, that means I would have to deed the property over to another buyer in order to make a profit, right? And if I do this, the buyer can deed the property to someone else, right? Which I guess is where I'm a little confused. As the investor, I can't make a profit from my sub-to agreement unless I deed the property to another buyer. It sounds like a lease option where this sandwich, where there is a sandwich made, and I'm the middleman. Only the buyer is buying on terms, not leasing on terms. So there's a lot there. It's a long, kind of complex question. Basically, so I'll kind of break this down to a couple different chunks. You buy a property subject to the existing finance or existing mortgage. So you buy the property without financing in place, okay? So you just take over their payments. You're buying it, right? You're assuming the loan. So if their payment is $384 a month, you're making that payment. If they have this much in escrow, that's your escrow. You have all of the loan. You don't have any of the responsibilities, but you've agreed to pay and follow the guidelines, amortization schedule, and everything that the bank has laid out or the lender has laid out under that loan that you've assumed. So that's the first thing. You'll assume that loan. You can make money multiple different ways doing a loan assumption. You can just lease the property. Let's say it's a really low, like cheap financing mortgage where you get 3%, 4%. Well, maybe you're an investor without a job and the best lending rates you can find are 5, 6, 7%. So you just assume their loan, keep it in place, even if it's a high loan to value, and you can then just rent the property. You can also use that, if you assume it, you can use that. And if your thing is flipping, you can assume it. You don't have a lot of cash out, even if it's a high 5, 6, 7, 8% in a loan to the lender. You can then spend that money and not have to use a bunch of your own cash and do a flip. Pay off at the end of the flip. When you cash out, the title company will cut a check to the lender and cash them all out. So there's different ways. You don't have to just sub to and then do a wrap. But I have done this, and I did it, and I really, really, really like this strategy because you sub to, and it kind of is like a lease sandwich. You sub to, you take over their payments, and then you wrap that existing mortgage, basically another loan around it. So let's just say you assume a $90,000 mortgage, and I'm just going to use some random numbers here, $500 a month payment. Well, you do that. You might fix it up. You might not even fix it up. You're going to owner finance that or do a wraparound mortgage or seller finance, because you're the seller now, to another buyer, an end buyer, that needs it for whatever reason. Maybe they're self-employed and have some trouble getting financing. Maybe they've had some blemishes on their credit and they want to build up some credit report. Maybe they just don't want to lease and they're ready for some home ownership and they don't have a steady job. Whatever the reason is, if you agree to do that with them, let's say you owner finance it to them for $120,000. They put $10,000 down. Okay, so you've got whatever I said, 90 or 100,000 before, and then you've got a $110,000 mortgage now that you're going to wrap. So basically, they're going to pay you the 110 let's do this because I can see this is going to get confusing. I can already see it. My handy dandy whiteboard. I don't need those. Okay. We're going to make sure that this is clear as mud. So $90,000, I said previous mortgage at $500 a month is what the payment is. That's the one you've assumed. You just lent this out at $110,000, and the payment, whatever. Let's just say you did it at 7% interest rate, and the payment to you now is $700 a month. Okay, you assumed a $90,000 one that had a $500 a month payment, and you've lent it out, and you owner financed it at $700. That means that this end buyer is going to pay you $700, and then you're going to pay the mortgage of $500. So you're happy because you just netted $200 every month. $700 that you take in, and you're going to pay out $500. 700 minus 500, you're left with 200. So you're going to make $200 every month for them paying you. That is how the wraparound mortgage works. You can do that. You can write in the contracts. Now, I'm not a real estate attorney, so don't take this for what it's worth. But you can write in the contracts that the loan is not assumable and that they're not allowed to continue to wrap it. So if this guy wanted to wrap it at $130,000 to an end buyer, that they can't do that. Now, I'm sure there's certain ways and to get around it, just like with loan assumptions and what have you. But honestly, do you really care if somebody else wraps a mortgage around your mortgage as long as you're still getting your $700? Who cares? I don't care. As long all my owner finances that I've done, I had a mortgage and I owner financed this somebody. As long as they're paying, I couldn't even tell you what the condition of the property is. I know they pay their property taxes, and I know that they're making their payments to me every month. They're paying the insurance. So as long as this money's coming in and you're paying over here and this is fine, you're going to just keep netting money every single month. That's why you got a little smiley face right there. So I think, Lady Boss, that answers your question. You don't always have to do another wrap. You don't always have to do that. You can rent it, you can flip it, you can just keep it and live in it. Some people just have trouble getting loans and they'll just do an owner finance, or they'll do a sub 2, and it's game over. I say game over. It says they'll do a sub 2 and they don't have to go through a bank and all the financing and everything. They just sub 2 and it's done. If you do want to owner finance it to somebody else or do a wrap to somebody else, I do highly recommend going through a title company and making sure the proper attorneys draw up the paperwork, because this can get messy. Okay? There also is a significant risk. I know that you guys are ethical that listen to this, but there's a significant risk that if you don't make this payment, that this person is going to be responsible for this. Meaning, you don't make this payment and you just pocket $700, then they're going to foreclose, and then this end buyer has no idea what the hell is going on. That is the risk of this to the end buyers. So you want to go get the paperwork done. You don't want to be unethical. You want to use an RMLO, a residential mortgage loan originator, or whatever. You want to make sure you do all that, because it's really bad. This can end ugly. This can end ugly if there's not the proper paperwork and stuff involved. So make sure you guys are doing it ethically. Make sure you're using the proper paperwork. I think that answered all your questions. If not, comment below, let me know. And if you guys enjoy this, subscribe, share it with people. It really helps us out. And I'll see you all next week. Thank you.